What's going on, guys? KG here, back with another video on Tales of Cristoria. Wait, isn't it supposed to be Luminaria? Yeah, it's Luminaria, but it's not out yet for us to play unless you're sponsored. So obviously I'm not sponsored, so we're not playing it today, but we'll be playing it tomorrow, that's for sure. The game's not out yet, it got about a day to go. And I really wanted to get this video out to you guys a lot earlier, just talking about the 21 characters, the story, what to expect, the gameplay, that kind of stuff, guys. I really wouldn't want to get this out to you guys a lot earlier, but you know, in real life, things can kind of get in the way. You guys know I have a family and I have a kid. On top of, I have a real job that I have to go to every day, 8 to 10 hours a day, so things kind of get in the way. I apologize, guys. It is what it is. But we're not here to kind of talk about, you know, my personal life or Tales of Cristoria in that aspect. Let's actually take a look at an opening trailer for Tales of Luminaria. Alright, now I don't have a lot of gameplay videos of this game outside of the 21 characters that were released with the trailers, but that opening trailer was dope. Not gonna lie, not gonna hold you. It really got me excited just because these are characters that are brand new. They're not part of any other game, like, you know, Tales of Cristoria has those cross characters from other Tales of titles. This is going to be a standalone flagship game that Bandai Namco is going to be pushing with the Tales of series, you know, name. So I'm actually pretty excited to see exactly what they decide to do with this game, what the story is all about, because obviously we don't know everything. And then you're going to be playing this game from an aspect of 21 different characters, so who knows how this is going to, you know, pan out. With that being said, let's talk about it. So first thing I gotta say up front, the game can be played in portrait mode. Now, I'm not sure if you guys like to play in portrait mode, but for me in particular, I do not like portrait mode. I think that mode really kind of takes you away from your surroundings and what's around you. You know, it is what it is. That's just me. I'm kind of mad about it, but I don't think it's gonna like destroy the gameplay, just because at the same time as you're going through the game itself, you're kind of seeing everything in front of you, just because of the way that the game kind of forces you to go in the linear aspect, even though it's in portrait mode. So that could be something that we can work with depending on what actually, you know, is around you, or if you're playing any other versions or modes that kind of require you to kind of be aware of like enemies in front of you. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure yet. We haven't played the game yet, but we will talk about this once we actually do get the game in our hands, playing it on our mobile devices, obviously within the next day or two. give you my thoughts about what I think about it. And if there is anything that I really want to, to complain about, I probably will just to you guys, obviously, right? It is what it is. Now, even though that is the case, the game does seem to run pretty smooth, right? It is in portrait mode. The gameplay is pretty spot on. I haven't noticed anything that was really detrimental to the gameplay in this particular mode. Just from watching, streams and other content creators making videos. So I will give this mode a chance, all right? So you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Check out this snippet of gameplay involving Leo 4K, obviously one of the main characters, if not the main character in the game.
This is all about mind over matter. Instead of thinking you're surrounded by foes, simply picture it as a series of one-on-one fights. Then, even the spiciest Mabo curry ain't that bad. Right? Take that! Bring it on!
It's a pretty fluid gameplay, right? I mean, the voice acting is pretty spot on too, like, I was kind of skeptical at first because you guys know Tales of Krystoria is all in Japanese, dub, sub. Well, the sub is in English, obviously, for the English version if you're playing that, but the dub is in Japanese. And a lot of people like to play, JRPGs in the native language of Japanese with the subtitles on so you can understand what they're saying, but it just gives you that feel that you're playing something that's authentic, that came from its homeland, and you're enjoying it. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe that's because I grew up in Japan when I was a kid, and I just prefer it that way. But, I mean, most people do like to, watch anime in sub, right? They watch anime in dub, Japanese dub, but they read the subtitles, and they play their games that way too. It is what it is. But not gonna hold you though. It's a pretty looking and great sounding game, even in the global dub. I mean, the characters are speaking nonchalantly, like they're having a normal conversation. It's not kind of forced. It's like they were all in the room together while they were making, parts of the script, and I actually do enjoy that just because it feels like they're natural, they're normalized. It's not, one person reading an entire script and then another person coming in the next day and reading another script that, they can't feel that chemistry with the other character. So, I mean, I really do appreciate this because it sounds really, really awesome. Now, unlike Krystoria, these servers are not going to be combined, okay? So, Krystoria, you guys know it. It's English and Japanese server. English and the Japanese game on the same server. They're just separated by the region, essentially, right? And this game is going to be separate servers. It's going to be a global server and also a JP server separated. Now, I'm kind of skeptical about this because Tales of the Rays was similar to that. But as you guys know, Tales of the Rays is no longer with us in the global version. It's only in JP. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this particular game. But, I think Bamco is really pushing this game to become its own standalone flagship title, which is why they chose to go this route. Looking at Tales of Arise and the commercial success that it was, in comparison to other previous Tales games, I think Bamco really wanted to capitalize on its success to bring in new characters to play the metaverse of the Tales of series. In particular, this game's starting as the newer version of the Tales games, and if you like those, then you might want to try the other ones. So, it is what it is. We'll see. Now, getting to the gacha, all right? So the gacha is interesting because I've watched a couple of videos where people were playing the gacha, and you see exactly, how it's similar to Defo. And I mean that because you're summoning for weapons and gear versus summoning for the characters. So the characters are going to be pretty much standalone. Every player can get them, all 21. So they're not going to be behind a paywall or whatever it is. So you're going to be able to get them up front. From my understanding, from watching a couple of videos in the past, you'll be able to get the new attacks and everything from the gear that you'll be getting from, and also the weapons as well. And then as you level up that gear by pulling multiple copies, it'll increase the level of the other characters. So it's not just like you have to go for this one character on this one banner that comes around every 6 months like Defo. Just saying. It seems like that if you pull and it's on a particular banner, but you get weapons from other characters, those characters will still get, boost as well, or a power boost So even if you pulled a 3-star, or 4-star, or 5-star, etc., etc., you know, those characters are still going to be leveling up or increasing what they already have right now in terms of the levels or the awakening, I would say, of that particular item. So it just depends. But on top of that, this game, the gacha, seems to be really free to play friendly. Just because I watched a couple of people that were summoning, I don't know how they were. I guess they were sponsored by Bandai Namco, but they were summoning on their trial version of the game, and they were getting a lot of 4 and 5-star, you know, items. And you know, when they were doing their summon animation, some of them were getting like, you know, like maybe 1 or 2, but then all of a sudden, summon animation would come through and change up, and they might get 4 or 5 out of a 10, you know, pull. So that's interesting enough as it is, because there are so many different types of animations to change the outlook. You never know, you might get something good even though it looks like it's bad. So I think a lot of games kind of should go with that model, especially if it really is what we think it is, or at least what I think it is, once this game gets released. But I'm looking forward to it. Now, the gameplay, as you guys know, it's going to be action RPG-esque, right? It's not going to be RPG like Crestoria or Defo. It's going to be, you're playing the game, you're playing in real time as you're going through the missions, because it's going to be like missions you have to go to in order to finish a chapter, with a couple cutscenes here and there. So it looks interesting enough, as to say the least. With that being said, I'm not 100% sure exactly how everything entails out, because a lot of the times that I've seen these videos where they're talking about the characters and what their roadmap is, I would say, you don't get to see the entire thing because they don't want to spoil it for you. But from what I have seen is that you pretty much have free reign to do whatever you want in terms of going certain routes outside of the main route, but you can go different ways to do different things. You can go back if you've already cleared a certain area, or if you didn't clear a certain area and you need to go back to get a chest or whatever, you can go back. You know, there's nothing prohibiting you from doing that. So that's something that's pretty amazing. So I really do appreciate that for this particular game. And I think that as we go and actually play the game itself, we'll see exactly what this game has entail for us. Hopefully, as all the characters' story kind of comes together into what the main story of this game is going to be. So, like I said, the game comes out tomorrow, within like a couple hours. So, like I said, I apologize, guys, for getting this game to you. Getting this video to you so late. I really was working on this for like a week. I just kind of got sidetracked with everything. However, I was able to get all 21 characters trailers. So if you have not seen all 21 characters, or you kind of wanted to see them all again, I have them kind of condensed, so you get like 3 at a time out of 21, so 7 different transitions, as you guys will see. So just keep your eyes on it. And I like how they actually made these trailers, because they're almost exactly the same in terms of transitions on their own end. And it's crazy. I like how it came out. Anyway, just talk about, before we go, talk about my only gripe that I have so far from what I've seen. Okay, so if I had to say, my only gripe in this game is that it's in portrait mode so far. Now, I've seen some of the pictures of like the menus and stuff like that. Yeah, some people were complaining about that, but to me, it doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, it's just a game. The meat of the potatoes of the game is going to be what you're actually doing, right? So if I had to say, my only gripe is that it's in portrait mode. You know, it can be a hit or miss based on awkward camera angles and, you know, surprise attacks from other enemies that you don't see because you're only looking in for one particular way. But from what I've seen so far, is that it's not as crippling as that I think it's going to be. You can move, you can see everything forward as you're moving through the open world. You know, meaning that you get as you get to it, you've already seen it, so there's nothing that's going to surprise you. So that's what I've seen so far, at least in open world, not including any other modes that we haven't been, you know, privy to yet. I do know there's going to be a raid mode as well, guys, so I mean, we'll see how that works out. So I'm not 100% sure, but what I can say, it looks pretty solid. This game looks pretty solid, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but as solid as it looks, I'm super excited about what it can bring. So we'll see what happens when the game releases within the next couple of hours, and yeah, all that good stuff. Anyway, guys, regardless of what I think, what are your thoughts on this game? You release some gold, like I said, within a couple hours of when, or depending on when you watch this video, it's probably already out. Are you excited for Tales of Luminaria? If so, which character out of the 21 member cast are you gunning for first? Now, for me, I'm going for Falk just because he looks awesome. I like the blades, the dual blade dagger that he has. You know, I'm a big Leon fan from Tales of Destiny. I'm just saying. Same thing with Lloyd. I'm a big fan of him with the dual swords. I'm just saying, you got 2 weapons in your hand. Let's get it, right? But I just want to know, which character are you excited for? Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I have been KDG. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to walk tall, my friends, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. And cue the 21 character rip. Let's go.